Check.
Hello.
JP, it's your turn now.
How is my voice? Is it sounding sexier?
What are we talking about?
All right, good deal.
You don't even try to be funny, but you make me laugh. It's great.
I'm sorry.
And with that, welcome to the next edition of Walking Dead What Ifs. We've got a couple this time. Fellas, how you doing today?
Go ahead. You first.
What are we talking about?
Just how
are you today?
I'm still
I know you just woke up, but
I'm still a little sniffly, a little snotty.
We got to do something. You need some tissues or something?
Yeah.
Some tussin?
I thought maybe I could stand on. Well, no, standing on my head wouldn't help because then everything would run back into my head.
But then it will. But you hook.
But
up
it
a
would
funnel,
amuse us a lot.
Yeah, it would. It would definitely amuse us.
Do the handstand. That might help. You just don't know.
I would just be impressed if you could do a handstand.
It's kind of like when your car's not running and you kick it and it starts running. I mean, it could do something.
Anything for that matter. When it stops working and you hit it and it starts working again, that's a great feeling.
I just want to see you do a handstand.
You just do it real quick. You do a handstand real quick.
Hey.
Real quick. Here we go. And get a drum roll. Here he goes. No drum roll. That's okay.
Drum roll.
And that's amazing, JP. What? One hand? How are you doing this?
I thought you'd like it.
How are you doing this? No hands. How are you doing this? Okay, that's enough. Thank you. You can come sit back down. That was really cool, dude.
We have got some cool stuff today. We actually took some Walking Dead what ifs from the comments section.
So many comments. It's so exciting.
Please keep commenting. We love them, even the ones we don't get to reply to or address, which, as you can see from today's podcast, we're going to definitely try to start doing more, replying to comments and bringing them into the podcast. We want to make the listeners as involved as we can. So today we've got 3 Walking Dead what ifs that we'll be doing. But before we get to that, we've got to do a new section that we were talking about last week, our new listener shout out.
New listeners!
That's good. I'm going to make us a little intro for that. Maybe we'll have it next week.
Okay, good. I don't want to do that every week. I'll do that every week if I have to.
I'll hold you to that.
Oh, boy.
So this week, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll take the first 2. Matt, you take the second 2. JP, you take the third 2.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. We've got to give a new listener shout out to Titus Steele. I hope I said that right.
That sounds like a porno name, doesn't it?
And Victoria Nightingale.
That sounds like a porno name, too.
On her first YouTube comment
Are you
ever.
sure this isn't from our Pornhub account?
No.
Are you guys positive?
We have a group Pornhub account?
That's odd.
Don't act like
do we get a discount? Otherwise, why are we doing a group? Why don't we just have our own? Anyway, Victoria gave us her first comment ever. So thank you, Victoria. Yeah, well, it says first YouTube comment.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, so Victoria, thank you. Matt, let's get the next 2.
We've got Miss Bubba 123, which that's her, I guess, her given name because it's not Mrs. It's just Miss Bubba 123. And Yay Toy Unboxing.
Woo!
That's a really big
Yay!
thing. Yay! I love
I'm
unboxing
excited.
toys. Yeah, there's an exclamation point.
They actually have a really cool channel. You can go check it out. Yay! Explanation point toy unboxing.
And if you're leaving your action figures in the box, you're just not living life. I mean,
whoa! Someone
now
likes
that's
to live
a
life on the edge.
Another discussion for another podcast. Mine don't come out.
But. Oh my gosh!
Anyways,
you
JP,
can't pose them if they're in the box. You can't play with them.
They come pre-posed.
How are you going to take an action figure in the box and play with them in the bathtub?
You just pretend that he's like frozen in some sort of carbonite or something.
Oh my god!
What you got the other 2?
I'm leaving right
the other
now.
2.
Go ahead, pronounce it. Try to say it.
Yeah, this one's a little hard to pronounce.
I have a feeling it's an E sound, not a Y sound.
Iliana?
No.
Viliana?
Ivilana?
I think this is like a Transylvanian.
Uvillani. We're not exactly sure how to pronounce your name, but we appreciate the hell out of you listening to us.
And I'm sure you're a beautiful person.
All right, what's the next one?
Tallulah 87-6.
Awesome. So, again, if you want your name on the new listener shout out, all you have to do is comment and say new listener.
I just want to say real quick, JP, I think you're hilarious. You are freaking hilarious.
What have I said lately that's made you laugh?
That's so nice, Matt.
Justin, calm down. Calm down with your voice. It's too much. It's so sexy. I'm going to have to change my pants right now. Your voice is too sexy.
I'm not very
I'm just funny, so I don't know too much. But, JP, you're hilarious.
I
Justin,
feel like I'm sensing a little animosity.
No. Tallulah left a comment a couple weeks ago about how she said, Matt, you're so funny. JP is hilarious, and Justin, that voice, That's pretty verbatim. That's what she said.
Maybe she got the names mixed.
So I'm just funny, but you're hilarious. Yeah, no, seriously, it does for you.
It literally pays my bills.
So no, that's really nice of her to say. I'm just joking.
You're having a good time.
Just having a great time.
Yeah.
It's like just having a great time.
It's so good. I'm really happy
give him
for
a
you
minute.
guys.
So, and also we want to, before we're going to get into the what ifs, I promise. So if you clicked on the video just to hear the what if, just skip a little forward. I promise you'll find it.
But then you'll miss all these cool people.
We've got a little community here. We want to start acknowledging people. And we've got Caitlin Howard back in the comments. We hadn't heard from her in a while,
She
so
is
it's
so
great
lovely.
to see
Loyal
her back
listener.
in the. You're right. And let's see, we've got some comments here that you've got. Matt fixed us up this nice little sheet here. So
Resident
Matt,
Secretary, thank you.
yeah, there you go. So go ahead and continue. Eliza Jet.
Elisa Jet.
Said the governor is more deceptive than Negan and would beat Negan. So they disagreed with us. I think that the governor, I mean, I could see that he's very deceitful. I think if he could keep his mind right, but that's a discussion for another podcast.
She thought it through, and it seems to her that Negan is pretty clear about his intentions from the start, whereas the governor is pretty deceptive about his. So she believes the governor would play along with Negan at first, giving him, the looks and whatever that he wants, and then get him alone and stab him in the back. Which
Right.
that's
Which
pretty
is
much
very true.
Governor,
he very well could do that. He did that with Martinez. He did it with the other. He literally stabbed the other guy in the back, the brother, the one that was leading that little RV camp. Literally stabbed him in the back.
So she has some
So he might have
confidence
made it
in the
happen.
governor, yeah.
But Negan hardly ever lets himself be alone with someone. But anyways, moving forward, we've got, I really can't pronounce this
What's
one.
WYSI Wussy Wig 49? Wussy Wig? Wussy Wig.
Said that they'll leave it up to us. We're the professionals.
Yeah,
we don't
I would-
consider ourselves professionals,
We don't.
but we deeply appreciate
And we talked
the,
about this. I didn't know how this comment came off at first, because it could come off a little sarcastic tone.
Right.
But the more that I read it, the more I was like, oh, she actually means it. She said Negan versus the governor shouldn't even be a thing, but it is because we brought it up.
Right.
Which,
Well, that's
that
just the
makes
point of the
sense, right?
what ifs. Just like what if, how,
both-
because we don't get to actually see it.
Both are tyrants in their own right. The governor flipped out during the series and needed to die. Herschel's death pissed me off. Oh, so she was
Oh, I
very
said
unhappy
that
about
night I
that.
wasn't
Yeah,
watching
man.
The Walking Dead anymore, and of course rewatched the episode the next day.
She says Negan is more organized and cunning.
Yes.
And she says her head hurts from thinking about it too much.
And next, KK Bacon, a longtime listener. Hello from Texas.
He understands what it's like for the rednecks and whatnot. He knows what it's like living in the South.
To be stereotyped as a redneck for the state
No,
that you
man,
live
he
in.
knows what it's like to be a redneck. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
boy, yeah, in the trailer park, I tell you what,
Go
we'll go down
hunt
there
me
and
some
get a
deer,
buck,
get in my
yeah.
Ford
Oh,
truck.
yeah, because you talked about Virginia last time.
Right,
It's
we said a
weird
lot of people
'cause
think that because we have some slightly country accents, they think that we're all hickey rednecks.
I don't know what y'all
but
talking about. I ain't got no accent.
I ain't got none whatsoever. That's what I tell people. They go, like, I'll go. I went to Florida one time, which is still in the South, and has some of the roughest Southerners down there.
the Southernest
but
you
I
can
was
get.
in where was I? I was like next to the University of Florida, hanging out, and someone's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Virginia," and they were like, "You sound so country." I was like, "See, to me, this sounds country.
Right.
Like if someone like they make me feel like this is what I sound like."
When someone asks
and I
me,
don't sound anything like that, but
whenever
I know I
some-
have a little bit of an accent.
whenever someone asks me where I'm from, I just like to say Earth. Where are you from?
The Milky Way,
Earth.
bitch.
The Milky Way, bitch.
All right, and so now moving on to our Walking Dead what ifs. We've got-
KK Bacon also said that if he finds time, he could make the governor versus Negan thing
Yeah,
happen.
so everyone encouraged
Putting you to
KK
it, brother.
Bacon. Everybody encouraged KK Bacon to make a video, which is a fight between the governor and Negan.
I would love to see it.
Is he going to use puppets?
I was thinking
That would be
people,
pretty-
but puppets would be cool.
Okay, puppet people.
Depends on how talented he is with the art of puppet craft. So puppets maybe that might be cool.
Yeah, sock puppets.
I just really wanted to see people, but
you always
KK
want to see.
Bacon.
You're such a Fight Club fan. You just want to see two people go at it.
I do. It also circles back to the Pornhub account.
Okay, all right.
But so moving on, we've got 3 different Walking Dead what ifs. These are chosen from what you, the listeners, commented. And so I'll go through, well, actually, let's just do them one at a time.
Okay.
So the first one, what if Carol hadn't killed Lizzie?
Oh, that's a good one from Joyce Stone.
I think Lizzie would have killed Carol.
Somebody would have got killed in their sleep. That much I
Oh,
can
yeah,
tell you.
absolutely. I
Whether that was
think
her
that if-
or
Oh, what if they
Tyrese.
both died in their sleep together, just like the Notebook, and they can be together forever?
died.
I never saw that one.
Oh, I'm sorry for spoiling the ending.
No, jeez.
Well, if you hadn't seen it after this long,
Nicholas Sparks giving women unexpected intentions.
Setting very unrealistic expectations for
That's the
their men
word. What did I
since
say?
whatever year he started.
That's the term I was trying to say.
But yeah, I think that one's pretty easy to tackle. In my opinion, I feel like if Carol hadn't killed Lizzie, Lizzie would have killed Carol or Tyrese or both of them. She definitely would have probably killed Judith because in her warped little twisted mind, killing people wasn't really killing them. You just were kind of taking when you get like a new remote and you pull the tab out that makes it work. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like in her mind, that's kind of what it was when you killed someone. You just kill them, and now they can live forever. They just have to go through that first little.
And a baby
that's a really
zombie
terrible
Judith
example. I
isn't
know.
going to
I
poop
get
and
it.
pee and stuff like that. There's a lot less diaper
But
change.
she can't even walk now, so I mean, she wouldn't even probably be able to crawl, or she probably would just sit there and cry and gum at things.
Yeah, zombie babies are a lot less.
Which is what you do when you're like 90 years
Which
old.
she
too,
she
so
had
it's full
teeth by
circle.
that point, I suppose. So she could actually bite. But I think it's really simple. I think because she had a gun on them then, right? She pulled a gun on them when they came back and found her sister Mika dead.
Well, what
And
could
then
have
they
Carol
talked her down, I
done
believe.
besides killing Lizzie?
Nothing. I
Yeah,
feel
there's
like
nothing she could have done.
I mean, she could have left her out on her own, which would have been even more cruel because she probably would have. And she liked to play with zombies, so she probably would have gotten bitten or eaten. I mean, it really wasn't. This was definitely like a mice and men type thing. I mean, it won't much. We're gonna get
She
to.
want to play
I
with
never
the
saw
rabbits.
that one either.
She want to play with the rabbits, George.
I love that book.
I was a theater major. I know these things.
But yeah, so I mean, the answer to that one, I think, if Carol hadn't killed Lizzie, we wouldn't have Carol no more,
Or Judith.
or Judith, or Tyrese. Oh wait, we don't have Tyrese.
Oh,
His send off was like my favorite.
yeah.
It was
No, that
such
was
a good
really good. That was a good
episode.
episode.
Such a good episode.
But I think it was a necessary evil to kill Lizzie.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
that had to
I
be
agree.
done. But yeah, so there's no other option. I mean, if she hadn't
it's a
killed
lot
Lizzie,
of things
someone
that
else,
could have came out of it. Perhaps she'd have killed Carol, then Tyrese would have killed her, and maybe that would have made Tyrese finally, because Tyrese just was like this gentle giant that couldn't deal with having to hurt people. Like he didn't like it, and so ultimately, it's I don't know. Maybe through some twisted ways we could have ended up keeping Tyrese alive, which I would have been perfectly fine with. But still, I think the general consensus here is that if she wouldn't have killed Lizzie, Lizzie would have killed them.
So would you rather have
True
Tyrese
story.
than Carol? If you could trade in Carol, would
I
you
don't
bring
know.
back Tyrese?
Probably, in the sense of the fact that they're getting ready to go to war, probably not, because Carol, I mean, I like Tyrese a lot as a character, but Carol is much more equipped and ruthless when it comes to fighting, and they're about to go to war with some very ruthless people, so they can't have someone who's going to have to be pushed. Basically, you're going to have to kill someone in front of Tyrese in order to get him to that boiling point of destruction, which he is a force of nature when he gets angry, but I just feel like Carol is more cut out for war than Tyrese is.
Do you think Tyrese could have rescued them from Terminus? If the roles were reversed.
I don't know.
You don't think Tyrese could have freed them?
I'm
On
not
his
saying he
own?
wouldn't. I'm not saying he wouldn't have tried, but like I said, Tyrese was just such a peaceful guy. Like he wasn't. I mean, he might.
Oh,
he
I
was,
agree with you. He would have tried.
All right, he'd have given it a shot, but I just don't know. He doesn't have that cutthroat. Like Carol straight up went into that knowing, okay, I'm about to kill a lot of people. And then that's what she did by blowing up that tank and opening it up, and the zombies came in. Tyrese would have probably tried to take a more peaceful route, which might have ended up getting him captured because these people didn't negotiate. So I don't really feel like Tyrese would have been able to pull it off, mainly just because, I mean, for a good reason. I mean, because he just was such a gentle giant. He just wasn't cut out for the ruthless world that Rick, Sasha, Carol, and Michonne and all of these others have adapted to. So, no, I don't think that he could have done it. It's a good question, though. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
I love those. JP's really doing a great job at moderating.
Am I?
You are. Moving on to the next one. What if Maggie died instead of Glenn? I love this.
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be a fun
Because we thought that's
discussion.
how it was going to go for a little bit there.
Yeah, that was our prediction. And how do you think I felt when, an hour before the episode, there was leaked footage of Maggie getting the bat? I was she didn't, if that would have happened, she wouldn't have died in the way I thought she was going to die. But still, I was like, did I get a prediction right? Finally. And I did.
Little victories.
I did.
I'm sorry.
I did. I did in the sense of some alternate parallel filming universe that never happened.
But you're with us, so in the long run, you win.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the
I'm proud of
positive.
you. Thank you.
But I think, in my opinion, we would have had a backslide from Glenn. Like, whereas the comics and then in the show, as we're seeing, because in the comics, Maggie was, somewhat strong, but got really strong after Glenn died. Whereas in the show, I think Maggie's already gotten strong. Like, she already was a pretty good leader and but so she's getting stronger and stronger as an independent lady. I feel like Glenn would have done the opposite. He spent the entire zombie apocalypse, retaining his humanity while learning to fight and all of this. I feel like with Maggie die, like that was his one like good thing in the world. You know what I mean?
It would have got dark really quick.
I think with Glenn, he would have, because Glenn had already started becoming a strong leader type. I mean, I really do believe that Glenn could have, like, if he was to separate from Rick and them, could lead a group. Because Glenn didn't like to kill.
No.
But Glenn did end up killing, and Glenn made good calls once you got past season 3, and he wanted to go just fight the governor.
His first actual like murder was at the satellite installation.
It
right?
was. That was like the only murder.
Yeah.
Here's something to consider too when we try to make the case that, because someone might disagree and say I don't think Glenn would have gotten darker, but let's go back to season 3. Remember when the governor made Maggie take her shirt off?
Oh yeah.
Glenn wanted to go straight back, to Woodbury to fight him, which then eventually he changed his mind, and it was Merle that wanted to go back, and Glenn was stopping him because Walking Dead sometimes flip flops. But I believe that's right. It's been a while, but I believe he was on a warpath, because when Herschel's talking to Rick when he's having his little like mental breakdown, he tells him, he's like, Glenn's on a path for revenge. It's we need you.
That's true.
It would have made him more reckless.
I think Glenn would have gotten more reckless. I think, which actually though, Glenn's been more fine-tuned through the last few seasons. Season 3, he was still the pizza boy who was just starting to come out of his shell. By season 7, he had become like this much more manly, much more survivor, I guess you could say. So he might have gotten more reckless, but he might have been a lot more dangerous now because he has a lot more fight in him.
One really good thing that would have came out of it, though, is he would have got some great rebound action poo-poo from Rosita.
Poo-poo?
Yeah, poo-poo action. Well, there's ladies.
Yeah,
Boo-boo. Can we just go with boo-boo?
Yeah, poo-poo action. I don't want to see
Glenn's
your
a nice
search results
guy,
on
man.
Pornhub.
Everybody's into weird stuff, but I just don't think Glenn would have been
Guys,
into poo-poo.
there's girls listening. We can't say you know what.
First of all, I am all about equality. They can hear anything just as
No.
much. It's okay.
We have to be delicate
Do
with
girls
it.
not poop or something?
I'm not talking about that.
They girls poop?
I was under the impression.
What?
I've lived with females in my
But
time.
no,
But think
all right,
about
all
it.
poo-poo sex aside here.
with Abraham being dead and Maggie being dead, they would have totally been on the rebound together.
and
they would have embraced and-
oh my
and
God,
loved
Sasha
each
and
other.
Rosita. You're talking about Maggie.
Yeah, he could have had him a crazy little.
If Maggie were
Glenn
to die,
and Rosita.
and then
Yeah.
Sasha would, because Sasha.
Yeah, because Abraham would have
Oh,
died
you're
and
right.
Maggie would have died.
Oh
So you
my
had
God.
Sasha and Rosita.
I would
didn't
die
even think
happy.
about Sasha. Mm-hmm. Man, Glenn totally should have killed Maggie. Just
So,
for that.
so when
Negan, give me
Negan
the
goes to
bat.
swing at him, stop! Take my wife.
Yeah,
That's funny.
boy.
But so no, I think we would have went down a much darker path with
Oh, yeah.
Glenn. I would have
The fact-
loved to have seen that.
The fact that he's losing Maggie and his unborn child,
Right.
like that would have sent him over the edge. Like I
'Cause-
think he would be more dangerous, but it would regress him as far as like tactics and thinking.
Well,
before
think
he acts.
about. I think he would have been becoming like a dangerous assassin, because think back to like season 5 when they're getting away from Terminus, and remember there's all those people yelling in the boxcars, and Rick's going to leave them, and Glenn's like, no, that's who we have to. That's us. We have to be. That's who we have to be. We have to save these people. I think like that part of him would have been gone. Like he would have had just started pulling like the Rick, basically, just to the point where he's just like, I don't care. Screw anyone who's not us. I think he would have definitely got a lot more reckless. I don't know if he would have gotten as reckless as season 3, because I mean, Glenn from season 3, Glenn from season 7 are two totally different people. Season 3, Glenn was like a boy. Season 7 was like a man. So I think he would have gotten more reckless, but I don't think it would have been like the reckless just run off and get himself killed. I believe he would become kind of like how you see Rosita. Like he's got it set. I'm going to kill this bastard.
Well, it's like the difference between bravery and courage. What is it? Like bravery is doing something even though it's dangerous.
Right.
And you don't know what's going to happen. Courage is doing something and
that you don't want to do
but you know it's
necessarily.
going to happen. You know what could happen, but you do it anyway.
Right. Yeah, I think we would have definitely seen a darker Glenn. I don't know that he would would have became like a bad guy, but I think we would have seen, and it would have been cool to have seen that, because the thing
my God, a
is
bad
in the
guy
comics,
Glenn?
in the comics, it was a turning point for Maggie in which she became this strong leader. Well, she already was a strong leader before Glenn died, so now we're just watching her get progressively stronger, which is fine because I love Maggie and the actress that plays her, so I keep her on the screen as long as you want. But it would have been really cool as far as storytelling to see Glenn. But I mean, it's like Stephen Yin said, he told him straight up, you've got to kill me this way, because that's how Glenn died in the comics. And let's face it, that's probably one of the most iconic moments in the comic book, one of them at least. And if you would have done it any other way, it would have probably not sat too well.
Let's
with
not
comic
even
fans.
talk about the comics. I mean, for those of you that know, the Whisperer War, the last part of that,
Part
comes
6.
out today.
Like, actually, we're going to get done with this podcast, walk over there and buy it.
We are broadcasting.
We're like 2
right
buildings
next
down
to
from a comic shop. Yeah, we're 2 buildings down from a comic shop.
That was really cool how you both were doing 2 different sentences, but you both ended on the word comic shop. That was really cool.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that was really well rehearsed. I liked it.
We often end at the same time. That was a gay sex joke. Talking about climaxing. But
I'm glad you explained the joke after you told it.
Yeah, because I had no idea
Yeah.
where that was going. But so we're actually going to go get that now. But so that comes out today.
Oh, I'm so stoked.
Who's going to die?
That's the question.
We won't go too hard into the comics.
Man,
This is more about the show. But
that's a whole podcast.
Eventually
into itself.
everyone's going to die. So
yeah, no.
yeah.
Not Robot Rick.
But so I think ultimately if Maggie would have died instead of Glenn, I'm trying to think I'm sure people want deeper thinking. Of course, Glenn it would have been a darker path. Glenn might have ended up getting himself killed. I don't know how reckless Glenn would have been.
How would that have affected the rest of the group?
I think it would have screwed good point. I think it would have screwed the rest of the group up too, because their whole reason for being out was to save Maggie. And Rick told her on the ride there, we're going to get you fixed. We're going to get through this. We always do. And then to have had her killed in front of Rick after he was trying to save her particularly and been reassuring her that they were going to save her could have really screwed him up. You're right. That could have had a big effect on the rest of the group, a little bit more so than Glenn's because of the fact that she was the sick pregnant. The baby was hope. Like Abraham, for instance. Ooh, Abraham, look at how much he lit up when they found out they were having a baby, that Glenn. I mean, it's like this baby was kind of like their new beginning, I guess you could kind of say, or like some new hope that they had. And then to watch her get killed and the baby die too could have made the group a lot darker.
You just slipped in a Star Wars title in there. You said A New Hope, and I perked up all of a second. But no, and then how would her death, since it would pretty much been Glenn who's around now in Woodbury.
Right, Woodbury.
I'm sorry, the
Alexandria.
not Woodbury.
The sanctuary.
The sanctuary. Oh my God,
the Hilltop.
Thank you. God.
There we go.
The Hilltop.
The Hilltop.
Damn, we said everything.
Jeez, we can edit that in post, right? Make me sound like I know what I'm talking about.
I almost slipped out the prison.
I wish you would have named every
farm.
Herschel's Farm. What are we talking
The
about?
roof.
The highway in Georgia. What's going on?
The Glenn's
the
over in the
horse.
tank.
What's happening? But no,
the hospital. We went all the way back to the beginning.
That's so funny, dude. Like before they even had Carl or anybody. Their honeymoon. I don't know what we're talking about.
Rick's mother's
Rick's mother's womb. What are we talking about? No, how would it have affected the Hilltop having Glenn instead of Maggie? Because obviously Glenn would have taken her place.
I think Glenn would have beat the unholy hell out of Gregory.
He would have been a lot less diplomatic.
We saw he could throw down. I mean, who was it that took a swing at him and Glenn just kind of bobbed and popped him back?
Who was that?
And then, my girl Michonne stepped up and told the other boys.
You don't want Michonne stepping up.
She was like, you want to get knocked on your ass?
That's the minute. She's like the equivalent of when all your friends are playing around, it starts getting rough, and the mom comes out of nowhere and just stands there and looks at you. You're like,
right.
Shut
That's
that shit down.
When she walks
Shut
out, you're
that
like,
shit down.
We're sorry. We'll stop. Because
just grab the sword handle. Okay, I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
I'm sorry, Mama Shone.
Mama Shone.
But yeah.
I hope Carl starts calling her that.
Yep.
Hey, Mama Shone.
Mama Shone.
My eye itches, Mama Shone.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to stem off of it before we hit the last one.
I'm really excited about the last one.
Yeah. Man.
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more, but keep in mind, folks, we try to keep these under an hour because who has over an hour to listen to us?
What if when Maggie died by some magical circumstance, Glenn took the unborn baby in his body? And now
I'm not even going to
no?
think about the response.
Is this like a junior thing? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
So, anyways, moving on.
Your reaction was great. That was wonderful.
Man, you can't see my face, but
I haven't seen that movie.
But you might be
able
Justin likes me,
soon
with our our live broadcast that we may possibly be doing leading up to the premiere. Yeah, of this season. So
we'll tell you about that in a little bit.
If that goes well, then maybe we'll start doing that with every premiere. Because they said this show could easily go to season 12, so they might be around for a while.
We have to wear masks.
Yeah, we might. I don't know if we're ready to.
Masks make me uncomfortable.
JP doesn't. He's already shown his face. If you want to know what JP looks like, just go to our channel and go to under playlists, look for gaming, and
that was a fun day.
I'm very confused.
You'll see JP
in
playing
the video,
Five Nights at Freddy's.
And in general,
just in general. Yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Did you like Rogue One, Matt?
I still haven't seen it.
Oh,
man.
dude, I saw it twice. I love it.
Man, I watched Civil War, Captain America: Civil War on Netflix yesterday for like the
Oh.
18th time. Oh, so
So
anyway,
back to the wall. I hope that hurt. Back to The Walking Dead.
Ooh.
Not that I don't love Star Wars.
What's
but
that?
still.
I liked it better than Force Awakens. I'm just going to say that.
But,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
anyways.
don't do that again. Here we go.
All right, yeah, I've got it on the buzzer, and I will hit it.
So our final what if?
Final what if?
This is more of just a versus.
This is just
kinda
as
thing.
fun. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
more like a celebrity death match.
And it was who was Guana? Oh,
You guys
man.
have some really cool names.
Gianna, Gaona, notary. I don't know if
Said,
that's
what about Robert Kirkman versus Scott Gimple? I'm going to give it to Robert Kirkman hands down.
because I want Kirkman to win.
It's
that
like I
battle.
like Scott Gimple. I love it when he's on the Talking Dead. He seems like a really cool guy, and he puts out some good stuff, I feel. But I just think Robert Kirkman is far more ruthless. Like, his writing is a lot more ruthless and cutthroat, so I feel like in a fight, he would do whatever he had to win.
Yeah, so when we're talking versus, is this like a hand-to-hand combat or is it like pen-to-paper
I'm
combat?
just going to say we throw him in a ring and we have weapons laying around.
like
and it's up to
freestyle
them to pick up. what they-
freestyle story writing. Oh, that would be amazing.
What do you think, JP? As along with myself, as being someone who reads the comic and
Yeah.
watches this show, whose writing style do you like better? Because Robert Kirkman is a lot more cutthroat and a lot more Game of Thronesy with his characters. However, there are plenty of things that he says he regrets, where Scott Gimple kind of tries to smooth it out.
I think it has to be noted also that Robert Kirkman has a lot more creative freedom with the comic book because Image
Absolutely.
is creator owned, so he can do whatever he wants. Whereas he doesn't have like studio heads and executives. Who are the people who work on TV shows, Matt? Like
Producers?
yeah, those are the ones. They're saying you can't do this, you can't kill that person,
right.
You can't show that nipple.
That's why Glenn Mazar, not the nipple, was pretty much let go from what I've read because of the fact that he killed so many people in season 3. But let's face it, that season, I mean, the whole show has been great to that point. But season 3 I'm not going to say it's the best season, but it set the tone for nobody safe. Season 1 was
one of the better
amazing.
seasons, yeah.
Season 2 is not so popular with the fans, though I enjoyed it. I think the Sophia moment out the barn is one of the best moments from the show, just as far as. But season 3 is really the season that straight up said no character is safe. Like, we're going to take anybody out anytime we want. And then they, from what I've read, and it might not be true, but I think they let Glenn Mazar go for creative differences, which is the same reason they gave Frank Darabont.
Creative differences is just
After
a way
he
to
killed
say,
Andrea, basically saying we don't like what he was doing.
right.
After Andrea died, I think they said that was like the final straw, and they pulled the plug, which I would have loved to. I mean, it was so much more, just like you don't know what's going to happen. Anybody can die. But so Scott Gimple's a lot more. My thing I don't like about Scott Gimple compared to Robert Kirkman, because I do like Scott Gimple. Scott Gimple's a lot more predictable when he writes. Like, as far as, and I know he doesn't write every episode. There's collaboration, so I don't want to give him credit he doesn't deserve, or but. I think that, there's a lot of times where, like, for instance, when it focuses on one character, you can safely say, oh, they're going to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Robert Kirkman, Abraham's sitting there talking just like Denise was in the comic. It's Abraham, spoiler alert, that gets the arrow through the eye, not Denise. And it was very random. Abraham's one of the main characters. He's sitting here talking to Eugene about Eugene and Rosita, and all of a sudden, arrow through the eye. And you're like, what? Even though he said he regretted killing him like that, it still made it keeps it very on the edge, like unpredictable. Like, any frame, any character can die.
Now, and as a person who's not familiar with the comics, I didn't see it's Denise. I didn't want to remember her name. I wanted to pretend like I didn't remember it. But anyway, I didn't see that coming. I mean, I figured
Right, they
how
did
they
it
were paying
very
attention to her. Oh, she's probably going to die in this episode. But when that arrow came out of nowhere, I was like, holy shit. And then I remember you guys talking about that's how Abraham died. So it is nice for folks that, because it is a fine line that they have to walk. They have to appease the comic book fan. What they've done, I think
And
they've done
try
a
to
great
keep
job.
it fresh. Oh, this season's
This
probably
season.
followed it more closely than I think any season.
And it's prime example that you can do that and make the people who aren't familiar with the comics happy, and also make the people
It's
who are
fresh.
familiar with the comics happy.
Like I said, it's a fine line. Like, how do we make it not so predictable for the comic book fans, but at the same time keep them happy
that we're
with the
bringing
source
the comic
material.
book to life, right?
No, and both writers have their advantages. Like, I won't just be a hipster here and go Robert Kirkman all the way. I mean, Scott Gimple writes some good stuff too. I mean, it's still like the #1 show on cable. So I mean, he's obviously still doing something. He's been he took over, I think, maybe season 4. If I'm wrong, someone just correct me. I won't be offended. Like season 4 up. So I mean, we are 3 seasons past when he took over, and it's still
It would be great if Robert Kirkman could just kind of walk, kind of like Anthony Hopkins in Westworld, just sort of walk through The Walking Dead, randomly through episodes.
They've been trying. I think they've said they've wanted him to make cameos, but he refuses to. He thinks it's douchey when people do it.
You were right. Season 4. Good job.
Is that when he took over?
Yep.
So season 4, and yes, I know that viewership is kind of declining. And since it's season 4, we have had some really boring episodes. Again, I say it, the Daryl and Beth episodes, right? The Daryl and Beth episode. The Ocean Side episode. Like, we've had some slow ones, but we've also had some really good stuff. You know what I mean? It's like Scott Gimple's one of those. He's kind of like a spring. You got to give him a little bit of time to kind of lock and load, and then when it, I'm not even going to let JP make a dirty joke out of that. Once the spring unwinds,
yeah, because your hand motions were calling for it.
It ends up being well worth the wait. You know what I mean? So but Robert Kirkman's a lot more ruthless. However, he's a lot more reckless with how he kills people and the things he does. Like, he regrets cutting Rick's hand off in the comics. He regrets killing Abraham the way he did. There's lots of things that he looks back and goes, I wish I wouldn't have done it that way. So it's really hard to pick who would be better at writing. I mean, I think they both are good in their own right.
Well, I'm going to go with Kirkman just because this is his baby. This is his creation.
Mm-hmm.
He's the god of this universe.
That's what I'm saying. So
what does that make Scott Gimple? Is he Jesus?
Scott Gimple would be like one of the disciples.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's a big step down, considering he still writes it.
The disciple just goes, check out the New Testament, because a lot of the disciples.
Greg Nicotero would be more like a disciple, like he directs episodes and is in charge of makeup.
Greg Nicotero would be like Lazarus or something. I can go down on the list of all the Bible characters.
I like
Nicodemus.
See, he's another one that people some folks don't realize is in charge of a lot of episodes. Is Greg Nicotero? I even think I might be wrong, but I think he may have even written an episode or two.
I just imagine Scott Gimple and Robert Kirkman in the ring, and Greg Nicotero's on the corner, like, yeah, get him, yeah. Go low. Go for the knee. I don't know why I think that's what Greg Nicotero
Have you ever
like.
seen Greg Nicotero?
Not at all, bro.
Okay.
Is he on the Talking Dead?
No.
Okay,
Greg Nicotero is the makeup artist / he directs a lot of episodes.
Oh, okay.
And he talks
my
nothing
impression
like
still
that.
Stands by. Still stand by.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that I'm indecisive on that one. I don't know who would win. I like them both for different reasons. I mean, I want to give it to Kirkman just because he's the one that started this and has this whole world in his mind. But I mean, Scott Gimple has a big...
He does what he does with what he has.
A big set of shoes to fill, and I think he does okay. I'm not always happy with his work, but overall, I still enjoy the show. I come back every season, so obviously...
At this point, it's an addiction, though, so...
No, I actually enjoy. There's plenty of shows that I have gotten into and just completely abandoned.
I'm sure a lot of people addicted enjoy it, too, so I'm just saying.
But yeah, so JP, he gave it to Robert Kirkman. Who are you going to give it to?
I wanted to clear my throat. I'm sorry. I like Robert Kirkman too. I think he's jolly. He's got a great beard that doesn't go over the top too much.
Those are very true things.
He's very irrelevant to his writing, but
his cheeks are really great. No, I think he would like. He's the god of the universe. He's Anthony Hopkins in Westworld, which I guess neither one of you watched, since you're not picking up on my references.
Bro, HBO's like $15 a month.
I've got HBO now. Yes, on my new TV package.
Oh, you're so great, aren't you?
Game of Thrones nights at my house. Yeah, I've got HBO now,
and we can watch live episodes of Walking Dead.
Yeah,
now too.
AMC. Really I've got AMC too. It's like I said, we'll start doing some. Wouldn't it be cool if we could keep enough following to every Sunday do like a pre-podcast leading up, and then Monday release like a after. You know what I mean? Like do a leading up, watch the episode.
Bro, don't get me so hyped.
Wouldn't that be awesome? But so little baby steps. Maybe eventually we can start doing that. But right now,
Judith steps. Little Judith steps.
But so I'm going to be indecisive. I don't know. I mean, I like Robert Kirkman.
I'm standing by Kirkman. Kirkman. I mean, he has a superhero name.
I think the show would be a lot more Game of Thronesy if Robert Kirkman was just given, no filter. They were like, all right, you're writing this, just do it how you want. It would definitely be a lot more
murder
unsafe. And rape. Not so much rape, I don't think.
So,
there was the Carl thing.
It was you that told me that HBO rejected Walking Dead, right?
Yes. So a lot of networks rejected HBO. Excuse me, not HBO. A lot of networks rejected The Walking Dead, and Robert Kirkman had to tell AMC that there were aliens involved because they didn't think the zombie genre was strong enough to carry a show and keep people coming back. So what he said was, well, actually, what's going on is that aliens did this, whatever. And so the aliens made them go, okay. And then, of course, I think it was maybe, and I might be getting my stuff wrong. It's been a while since I've read this, maybe by season 2 or 3, he finally told him was like there were never going to be any aliens.
could you
But how could they be mad? He just
Every
made
week.
them got them so many views and made them millions.
So
They were cool.
Robert, what's up with them aliens? Oh yeah, we're writing them in. They'll be in there next week.
They'll be in
so
season
Robert, what's
20
up with
if
the
we ever make it
aliens?
there.
You got the aliens in there? Yeah. They're coming in next week by like season 3. We're not getting aliens, are we?
No, we're not getting aliens.
no. Oh, I was probably high on peyote when I said that. I don't know.
Oh man, that was like I'm like a different person 3 years ago, man. Yeah, so he got rejected by HBO.
Yeah, it would definitely be a very different show if it were on HBO.
Could you
By
imagine? That's a
aliens.
good Walking Dead. What if? What would The Walking Dead be like if it were on HBO?
Yeah.
By aliens, I think he meant like illegal immigrants, and that's where it started. Like it started in Mexico and all that. And
I mean, they say that it is linked to. Well,
So he still told the
just
truth.
speculation, but they say it could be in the same universe as Breaking Bad. So I mean, someone could cross the border
New
with
Mexico,
some
yep.
sky blue and. Was it Blue Sky? Is that what they call it? Sky Blue?
Sky, something like
Blue
it's those
Sky.
2 words. I'm just not sure of the order.
Right, yeah. Because Merle had some of it, so. But yeah, so that's it for The Walking Dead What Ifs. We love hearing your and Matt and I sat the other day and were reading where someone had someone disagreed with us. That doesn't we love differences of opinions. We love it if you can go, well, actually, here's why so and so would have won or this would have happened. It makes us go, oh, I never thought of it like that. So please, if we're wrong or you have additional speculation, throw it in there. We love it. We read each and every comment. I mean, we really do. We go through and read every single one of them, and that's what makes us so excited to do this every week. All right, so 2 things before we sign off here. We're going a little over. A Reshone update. So Maritime Joseph wants to know how we feel now that we've had time to sit on the Rick and the Michonne relationship, because originally we had said we weren't sure how we felt. Not that we
guys,
didn't.
I loved it from Jump Street.
Oh, did you?
It is
Yeah.
true. I feel like you were on board for it.
Like I said, the reason my issue with it is just, and it doesn't have to be like this. To take charge people can be in a relationship. But I just was like, man, it's just like Michonne's one of those, like you almost don't imagine her in a relationship. Kind of like Daryl. You know how Daryl is not in a relationship because Daryl's just like he's focused on surviving, fighting, and living, and that's it. And now we are seeing much more of a home life Michonne, because until then she was a badass that survived on her own with Andrea, but she didn't need anybody. She could handle herself.
She's been showing that the past couple of episodes.
Right. She can just go out on her own and do her own thing. So it's not that necessarily that I didn't like her with Rick. It's just the fact that Rick's so alpha male. She's so alpha female.
You'd see her with someone like Eugene. Or
right. Someone that she has
yeah.
to take care of. So I don't have a problem with Rick and Michonne together. They are, and if you go back and listen, you will actually find out for the guy the last year, they are my 2 favorite characters, Rick and Michonne.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like watching your 2 best friends get together. It'd be like if you and JP just announced here on the podcast you were together. I would be very happy for you, but it would add a new dynamic to the group.
If he just handed me some breath mints and then I just like looked at him and we looked at each other, like kind of like it happened. Like they didn't announce it; it just happened all of a sudden. Which that's how it is in real life. Sometimes it just happens.
So I mean, it's like not that I wouldn't be happy for you. It would change things for a little while. So given time to sit on it, yes, I do. Now I'm starting to see them more coupley.
It just feels more natural now.
Right, you're getting used to it. But I never had a problem with Rick and Michonne being together. It's just like I said, like Daryl. They say we don't know if we'll ever put Daryl in a relationship because Daryl's that strong, independent character that we just don't know needs a love story. And I felt kind of that way about Michonne. You've got your Rosita, your Sasha love stories, things like that. But Michonne's one of those. She'd take out the whole group if she wanted. She's like the Batman of the group. She's so badass. So it's just hard to imagine her. Kind of like Rick too. I mean, Rick's become he's just because Rick has kids. I think it's easier to see maybe Rick. Being lovey-dovey. You've seen his. But, like I said, so Rick and Michonne gets my thumbs up. I mean, I love them both. They're my 2 favorite characters. You take them out, I'm probably not going to watch the show anymore. Yeah, if you took Rick or Michonne or both, you took both, not only would I not watch it.
That would be a crazy episode.
I probably would, protest it. But no, so Rick and Michonne, I'm cool with. I don't have any issue. There's going to come
a time, I'm not looking forward to how they handle it, because there's going to come a time when they break it off or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen.
And it's going to mess up the dynamics.
Right. Well, I hope that they don't make it cheesy. I hope they make it one of the things where like, yeah, we tried this and it's just not working out. Or something. I don't know what reason they would have to split.
Either one of them.
That's what I'm thinking. The only reason they would have to split is to kill one of them.
I can say I'd be equally upset if Michonne died as if Rick died.
Oh, I'd be, absolutely.
Like I said, I just could see Michonne more with like a Eugene, someone she's got to take care of, But I mean, strong people can get together and have very happy relationships.
Heath, Eugene.
Yeah, Eugene. Which let's see, who else? Who are some of the weaker male characters?
Or female characters.
Right. Well, I was going to say male because
wants.
we've seen that obviously she's straight, so we can't really throw the females in there. She hasn't really shown. I don't know. She was kind of loving. She really. had a special little spot for Andrea there.
Yeah.
But, I'm just trying to think. But, yeah, so, I mean, I'm cool with Rick and Michonne. I mean, I didn't hate it. It's not like I was like, absolutely. And someone misinterpreted. We thought that what we were saying was that my biggest fear in the beginning, I never protested the relationship per se. What I'm saying is we were saying a while back, we were scared that what they were going to do is put them together only to kill Michonne. As at the final episode of the season to make it more emotionally impactful, and that's what and that actually, I think got misinterpreted because we're saying no, we don't want Michonne to die. Don't you kill my Michonne?
Don't you kill Mama Michonne?
Mama Michonne, as Carl will soon be calling her.
Bro, we're gonna be calling.
And
I'm calling her Mama
Judith
Michonne
has to call that at least Mama Michonne. Mama Michonne. But so yeah, I'm cool with the relationship. I mean, I love them both. They're my two favorite characters. So I mean,
so there you go.
Matt, you cool with it?
I reiterate everything
back,
you said. Yeah.
And JP is just.
I've been there since day one.
Michonne, you have a crush on Michonne, don't you?
She reminds me of Jocelyn.
She would
but
so
that's a whole
handle
other
you.
story.
she would so handle.
She wouldn't even need her sword.
No, she would handle you.
Handle me?
But yeah, so I'm cool with Michonne. Like I said, I never didn't dislike it. It just took a little while for me to get used to it, and then I didn't want her to die. Because they put Jess with Rick, and he died, and she died. Mm-hmm. If you kill my Michonne, I just don't know that I can watch a show.
Rick is like the praying mantis of the zombie world.
Wait,
right? Because he kills all of his partners. Well, he doesn't, but all of his partners are by proxy. Okay. He's a praying. Screw it.
I see where you were trying to go.
We can fix that in post too, right?
No. And so before we close this out, show of hands. We're thinking about doing a live podcast where we'll have it to where you can send in messages and chat and yada yada yada. Leading up to the premiere of the mid-season. Season 7. So what do you think? Like the season 7 mid-season premiere. Maybe we'll start about 30 minutes before. We'll take questions. We'll discuss the show, all of that good stuff, and then
that all depends if everybody wants to see it. We need you to
because we don't want to waste the time to do it. We don't want to get on there and it'd be like you have 3 viewers. So, if we can get a show of hands of who wants to see it, and it's a decent little amount of people, we will absolutely set that up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Like
So also, last thing, I've said that like 4 times. Last thing, and then we're leaving. We will have a prize for someone next podcast.
We're up to 337 subscribers.
Yeah, we've got all of your names together now, so we just got to pick one, and someone's going to win a set of Daryl zombie ears.
Yep, it's necklace form too, so you can wear it around and
just
be the
like
life
Daryl
of the party.
Did. Just when you come out the woods, make sure that Andrea's not on top of an RV with a rifle.
You never want Andrea on top of an RV with a rifle.
I don't want Andrea anywhere near you.
You just don't want Andrea.
I hate Andrea. Worst character ever. But anyways, so so we'll have that prize for some lucky listener
announce that next
Monday.
Week. Yeah.
Yep, and we will be back on track with going on Mondays.
Now that
it's
the
just the
holidays
holidays threw us off, but we will be back on track every Monday with a new podcast, be it What If or Theories, whatever. Mm-hmm. If you are new, subscribe, like the video, share it with your Walking Dead friends.
Season
we love you so much.
In less than a month.
We're excited.
February 12th. That's exciting.
New listeners, if you like the podcast, comment. I am a new listener, whatever, however you want to say it in the comment section. We'll give you a shout out and the new listener shout out next podcast.
I love it.
So, I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Matt.
Oh, and I'm JP.
And we'll see you next week.
Did you forget for a second?
A little bit.
It's the drugs.